Are you tired of your dog pulling on the leash during walks? It's a common problem that many dog owners face, turning what should be a pleasant stroll into a tug-of-war. Whether it's their boundless energy or the allure of new scents, dogs often forget their leash manners, making walks less enjoyable for you. It's a challenge, yes, but it's not an insurmountable one. But worry not, we have some practical tips and tricks to help you with this. First, it's important to understand why your dog might be pulling on the leash. Imagine this. You're out and about, taking your dog for a leisurely walk through the park. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, and your dog is pulling on the leash like they're training for the Iditarod. Sound familiar? Let's dig into the reasons why this might be happening. One common reason dogs pull on their leash is pure, unadulterated excitement. You know that feeling when your favorite song comes on the radio and you just can't help but dance? That's your dog when they see a squirrel, or a new dog, or even just a particularly interesting leaf. The world is an exciting place for a dog, and sometimes their enthusiasm just can't be contained within the confines of a leisurely walk. Another potential cause is the prey drive. This is an instinctual behavior that's been passed down from their wolf ancestors. When they spot something that looks like it could be prey, their natural instinct is to chase after it. This could be a squirrel, a bird, or even a fast-moving jogger. The leash pulling is just their way of saying, let's go get it. And then there's lack of training. Dogs aren't born knowing how to walk politely on a leash. It's a skill that needs to be taught and reinforced over time. If your dog hasn't received proper leash training, they might not understand that pulling isn't acceptable behavior. But don't worry, it's not all doom and gloom. Once you understand why your dog is pulling, you're well on your way to finding a solution. Remember, every dog is different. What works for one might not work for another. The key is to understand your dog's motivations and work with them, not against them. Understanding the cause can help us find the right solution. Now, let's dive into some basic training techniques that can help manage leash pulling. First up is the stop-and-go method. This technique is as straightforward as it sounds. When your dog starts pulling, simply stop in your tracks. Stand still and don't move until your dog turns to look at you or slackens the leash. This teaches your four-legged friend a simple yet effective lesson. Pulling won't get them anywhere. Once the leash is slack, that's your cue to start walking again. This might mean your walks take a little longer at first, but trust us, it's worth it. Next, we have the change direction method. This one keeps your dog guessing and helps to keep their focus on you. If your dog starts pulling, instead of stopping, change your direction. This unexpected move will catch your dog off guard, and they'll have to adjust to follow you. Over time, they'll learn to pay more attention to you and less to the distractions around them. It's a win-win. Now, let's talk about consistency and patience. These aren't so much techniques as they are principles, but they're absolutely crucial to successful training. Be consistent in your training sessions. If you let your dog pull the leash sometimes but not others, they won't understand what you want from them. Consistency helps your dog learn what is expected of them. And patience, well, it's absolutely key. Training takes time, and it's important to keep your cool even when progress seems slow. Remember, your furry companion is trying their best to understand and please you. They're learning a new language essentially, and that takes time. Incorporate these techniques into your daily walks and you'll start seeing improvements. Remember, the aim is not to punish your dog but to teach them, and that requires understanding, patience, and a whole lot of love. Remember, patience is key when it comes to training. For those of you who have tried the basics and still need help, we have some advanced techniques. The heel command is a fantastic tool in your arsenal for leash training. This command teaches your furry friend to walk at your side rather than pulling ahead. The trick lies in consistency and repetition. Start by standing still, with your dog at your side. Use a treat to get their attention and say heel. Move a few steps, and if they stay at your side, reward them with the treat. Gradually increase the distance you walk before giving the reward. Remember, patience is key here. Now let's talk about training tools. Harnesses and head collars can be incredibly useful in leash training. A harness provides better control over your dog without putting pressure on their neck, especially if you have a strong puller. Head collars, on the other hand, work by guiding your dog's head, and where the head goes, the body follows. It's essential that these tools are used correctly, so make sure you're fully informed before trying them out. But let's not forget the most crucial part of any training: Rewarding good behavior. Dogs like us respond positively to praise and rewards. When your dog walks nicely without pulling, shower them with praise, give them a treat, or let them sniff around, whatever they enjoy the most. This reinforces the positive behavior, making it more likely to be repeated. The trick to advanced training is understanding that it's not just about stopping the unwanted behavior, but promoting the desired one. Swap the pulling for heeling, the lunging for sitting, the rushing for waiting. And every time your dog chooses the desired behavior, reward them. It's a game of swaps and rewards, where you and your dog emerge as winners. And there you have it, folks. The advanced techniques to curb leash pulling. It's a journey of patience, consistency, and positivity. Remember, rewarding good behavior is as important as correcting unwanted behavior. Now, let's hear some expert tips and tricks that can make your walks more enjoyable. First off, it's crucial to start training in a calm environment. You see, dogs are highly sensitive to their surroundings and can easily get distracted. So start in a quiet room in your house where your dog feels comfortable and secure. Gradually introduce more distractions as your dog improves. This step-by-step approach helps your dog adapt to walking calmly, even in a bustling environment. Next, let's talk about treats. Not all treats are created equal in the eyes of your furry friend. Using high-value treats like pieces of chicken or cheese can be a game changer. These are treats your dog doesn't get regularly, and they'll do wonders in grabbing their attention. The trick is to only use these high-value treats during leash training. This way, your dog will associate the delicious treat with walking calmly on the leash. It's also important to remember that consistency is key. Make sure you're practicing these techniques every day. Dogs learn through repetition, so the more consistent you are with your training, the faster they'll learn. And remember, patience is your best friend throughout this process. Training a dog to walk calmly on a leash doesn't happen overnight. There'll be days when it feels like you're not making progress, but don't get discouraged. Your dog is learning, even if it doesn't always seem that way. Finally, if you're struggling and don't see any improvement, it might be time to consider professional help. There's no shame in seeking the assistance of a professional dog trainer. They have years of experience and can provide personalized training plans tailored to your dog's needs. Remember, every dog is unique. What works for one might not work for another. Be patient, consistent, and open to trying different techniques until you find what works best for your furry companion. Happy walking! Let's quickly summarize what we've learned today. We started by understanding the problem, recognizing that a dog pulling on the leash is not just an inconvenience, it's a sign of a deeper issue. It's about communication, respect, and the relationship between you and your furry friend. We then delved into basic training techniques. We learned that teaching your dog to sit, stay, and come on command is the foundation of good leash manners. We discussed the importance of positive reinforcement and the power of treats, praise, and play in encouraging good behavior. Next, we explored advanced training techniques. We talked about the be a tree technique, where you stand still when your dog pulls, teaching them that pulling gets them nowhere. We also introduced the idea of changing direction, keeping your walks unpredictable and engaging for your dog. We wrapped up with expert tips and tricks. We learned that consistency is key and that every member of the household should use the same commands and techniques. We also discovered that regular exercise and mental stimulation can greatly reduce leash pulling. So there you have it, a comprehensive guide to stop your dog from pulling on the leash. Remember, it's a process. It takes time, patience, and persistence. But with these techniques, you'll be well on your way to enjoyable, stress-free walks. With patience, consistency, and the right techniques, you can turn your walk into a pleasant experience for both you and your dog. Happy walking!